Best farming practices for sweet potatoes. Sweet potato is the most important crop worldwide after wheat, rice, maize, potato, barley, and cassava. It is a warm climate crop that can withstand drought and alleviate food shortages. With proper farming practices, it can give more than 3.6 tons per hectare root yield in Ethiopia. The main objective of this video is to provide information about the best practices to improve sweet potato production for smallholder farmers. Site selection. Fertile, well-drained, loose, deep, and sandy loam soil is suitable. The field should have not been planted with sweet potato and related species. Access to irrigation is important for areas that receive short rain season. Land preparation. Sweet potato fields can be prepared with hand tools such as hoe and oxen plow. The sweet potato field should be prepared 2 weeks before planting to allow plant residues time to decompose. The field should be plowed 2 to 3 times. Planting season. Sweet potatoes can be planted at any time in a year, but care must be taken to ensure that the harvest season does not coincide with a frost event. Late planting can expose the crop to unexpected drought and sweet potato blight. Sweet potatoes can be grown in any month in irrigated areas during the frost-free months. Planting material or cutting preparation. Sweet potato planting material can be prepared from root, tuber, or vine. However, using vine cutting is better for it is productive and relatively free from pests. Depending on the distance of vine nodes, the proper cutting size can range from 20 to 40 centimeters. Cutting from top portion of vines are more productive than from the middle and the bottom portion. Each cutting should have a minimum of 3 nodes. The cuttings should be prepared from vines not older than 3 to 5 months. Planting method and distance. Sweet potatoes can be planted on flat land, on mounds, especially in waterlogged areas, or on ridges, but it gives better yield when it is planted on ridges. The most common productive planting distance are 60 cm between 2 rows and 30 cm between plants. Crop rotation. Sweet potatoes should not be planted consecutively in the same field every year because invisible disease-causing pathogens living in the soil can attack the new crop. For your rotation is good to break pest cycles. Sweet potatoes can be planted in rotation with pulses, cereals, and vegetable crops. Cultivation or earthing up. First weeding and cultivation should be on the 4th and 45th days after transplanting. Then the second weeding and cultivation should be on the 70th to 75th days after transplanting. Earthing up with soil should be done as soon as the crop begins tuberization. Soil earthing up is important to get high yield and to prevent sweet potato weevil. Crop protection. Disease control. Among sweet potato diseases, sweet potato virus is currently the most challenging and there is no measure to cure. The disease is mainly transmitted through the use of infected planting material, whiteflies, and aphids. Protective measures include use of disease-free cutting for planting or use of disease-resistant varieties, spraying chemicals to kill disease-carrying pests, uprooting and burning when infested crops are found in the fields, removal of disease-harboring weeds such as Nicandra and Datura, applying crop rotation, planting new fields away from old fields. Insect pest control. Sweet potato is attacked by various insect pests. Sweet potato weevil and sweet potato butterfly are among the most important ones. Sweet potato weevil. Sweet potato weevil can be found in an area where sweet potatoes are grown and can cause 60 to 100% yield reduction. The adult sweet potato weevil feeds on vines and leaves, whereas the larvae feed on the root tuber. Control measures for sweet potato weevil include maintaining proper crop rotation system, use clean sweet potato planting material, especially the upper vine, removing of harboring weeds and volunteer sweet potato plants in the field, frequent cultivate and earth up the soil, water sufficiently. If irrigation water is available, plow immediately after harvest and expose the pest to sunlight. Sweet potato butterfly. If the sweet potato butterfly is not prevented, it can completely destroy the field. Sweet potato moth usually occurs around the beginning of the dry season. Sweet potato moth larvae feed on sweet potato leaves. Control measures include picking and removing the egg and the leaf where the larvae are present, removing harboring weeds and volunteer sweet potato plants from the field. Traditionally, it can be prevented by spraying cow urine, ash, juice of squeezed neem tree leaf. When necessary, pesticides such as endosulfan can be applied. Harvesting. The time for sweet potato crop harvesting depends on the variety and weather condition. In most cases, the maturity time ranges between 3 and 6 months. If the crop is harvested when it is too young, the produce will be poor in quality and quantity because the roots are not well developed. If the crop is harvested when it is too old, the root tuber will be fibrous and infested with pests, so it should be harvested at proper stage.